Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Joy at Work, channel where we just take a few minutes to explore how we can find joy at work. Today, I want to continue the conversation from last time talking about values. After that, I posted that video, I had a few people reach out to me and say, "Hey, could you give us some more information on values and really what they are and kind of how they break down?" So let's do that, right? Um, I think I mentioned last time that values really are, what we value is what we deem important, what we set our sights to, the things we want to go after. And as it pertains to us as individuals, I mentioned in the last video that we have both instrumental and terminal values. Terminal values, you can almost say, are your objectives of life, right? I want, I value financial security, I value freedom, I value joy, right? Those are the things, our objectives, our ultimate goals, the things we want to achieve. Whereas our instrumental values are simply the things we practice, the behaviors and characteristics we practice on a day-to-day basis that get us ultimately to our terminal value. So I value loyalty, right? And that gets us to free. I value honesty, whatever those things may be. They are the behaviors and attributes we take on as we go after or pursue our terminal values. But here's the interesting thing. Instrumental values as well can be categorized. I think it was Maslow who categorized instrumental values, if I'm not mistaken, into three groups, right? Three categories. We have growth values, we have stabilizing or coasting values, and we have defensive values, right? Growth values are all about the things we value that help us grow. Growth values take us out of our comfort. They allow us to just grow and become better people, better human beings, and more engaged. So when you think about a growth value, whether it's empowerment or adaptability or growth itself, I value adaptability, I value growth, I value empowerment, I value developing others. All those are values that take us out of our comfort zone into a new plane of operating. Then we have what some have called stabilizing or coasting values, and these are values that really allow us to remain comfortable, sort of where we are, right? So I value comfort, right? These are the things I value: order, I value peace. I don't want anything that disrupts my life. Let's just keep moving, right? Those are what we would say are stabilizing or coasting values. And then, last but not least, but equally as important, are defensive values. And these are values that we that reflect in behaviors that protect ourselves, right, from dangers or fear, right? So control would be an example of a defensive value. I want control. So if I have control, then I can, make sure that people can't do anything to me that they want to do. That's just a quick example of defensive value. So again, we have growth, stabilizing, and defensive. Now here's the kicker. Every human being that I know exhibits values that fall in those three categories. We all exhibit growth values. In fact, I think as a human being, you desire growth and you must exhibit some growth values. We all exhibit stabilizing values. We want comfort, we want peace, we want an amount of order. And we all exhibit as well defensive values, competition, control, and the likes. Where it really gets interesting is when we do an assessment of our value mix. What do the categories look like? What does the ratios per category look like? If you were to do an assessment, are you predominantly a person who operates from a set of defensive values, right? I have to be in control, I have to be competitive, I have to do things that protect me. Are you a person that operates from a perspective of I got to do things that keep things status quo, right? I got to comfort, peace, those things I value, so I act in a way that ensures those things stay there all the time? Or am I a person that wants to grow, is supportive of change, and so I push the envelope, and how do I do those kinds of things? We all exhibit those values, but it's really a question of what's our mix like? What does your portfolio look like when it comes to these categories of values? And this is even where it gets even more interesting, I might say, is because we all stress or emphasize certain values over others, we need to be keenly aware of them because the places where we want to work as well, people and the organizations stress or emphasize certain values too. For example, let's say you wanted to go work at a place that maybe is not as growth minded as you are. So empowerment's not something that they promote or support, but you really support empowerment, a growth value. What do you think is going to happen? Or what about a place where control and hierarchy and authority is all important because people want to protect what they have or want to keep the order, maintain the status quo, don't want change, and you walk in there and you say to yourself, "Hey, I don't care about hierarchy. I just want to get things done." What do you think is going to happen? So it's very real. It's very important. It's really important for us to take the time to identify our values. As I said in the last video, it's more than just writing them down. You start by writing what you think they are, but then do an inventory of kind of your behaviors. How do I act? How do I operate? What decisions did I make yesterday, today? Our behavior, our actions reveal what we value. And you can actually begin to see, am I really more of a growth, value-oriented person with some defensive and stabilizing, or am I really a defensive person because my environment and society shaped me this way? And this is not a right wrong thing at the moment. It's really, this is who I am, and now I'm looking at working somewhere, working with people who might not share the same who might not emphasize the same values as I do. So values are extremely important at the individual and the organizational level. And if we want to experience joy at work, we must pay close attention to this. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully I was able to answer some questions about terminal instrumental values and then breaking instrumental values even further into growth, stabilizing, and defensive. It's been fun. I'll see you around next time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tell your friends about it. Bye.